isn't it?
All right, I will give you 25,000.
Nope, rather keep it for 30.
Have you a mortgage on the place?
A what?
A mortgage on the place.
Lots of them.
I thought David bought it outright.
Oh, those mortgages. No, we haven't any mortgages, but we have a beautiful brook.
A brook? Where is it?
We keep it outdoors.
All my life I wanted to own a brook. I want to see it. But let us have it settled first. All right, I will give you $30,000. But I want the house, the land completely furnished, Fritz, Bertha, and all the animals. The air is like wine. Боже мой.
Olga Baclanova, Part 4. Olga returned to Paramount in 1933 to make one last film for the time being, Billion-Dollar Scandal, supporting Robert Armstrong and Constance Cummings as the character Anna. It was a smaller part and saw Olga playing another Russian temptress character. Olga then decided to leave Hollywood and return to the stage, her first great love. What's interesting to note here is that, according to her biographer, Olga stated in 1928 that she would make an effort to be a star in movies for just 5 years. If she was not making a success at it by 1933, she would return to the stage, which she did. Olga first gained raves for appearing in Grand Hotel, the stage version, on tour. She was also active on the stage from 1933 to 1943, on Broadway and on tour in America and Europe. On Broadway, she starred in $25 an Hour, Murder at the Vanities, and Mahogany Hall. She also toured in 20th Century, Idiot's Delight, and again in Grand Hotel. Olga also began shifting more and more to her attention to her singing career. She recorded albums, got gigs singing at New York clubs. These performances caught the attention of the Broadway producers that were developing what would become Olga's biggest Broadway smash, the adaptation of Rose Franken's novel Claudia, in which she played the flashy, witty, and seen-it-all opera singer Madame Darushka, who tried to buy land from and to offer guidance to the innocent title character played by Dorothy McGuire. It appears that Olga stayed with the show for all of its 722 performances on Broadway and its subsequent tour, where she and Dorothy McGuire were then asked and hired to reprise their roles in the 20th Century Fox film adaptation in 1943. Take a look at this hilarious clip.
Sorry, nothing will spoil my mood. You see?
Yes. That's something, isn't it?
Something.
Well, something to be proud of.
No, I'm not proud. I'm simple. I'm a peasant. The sweet hair. These smells. They're part of me, part of my nature. It is the earth, the deep earth of me that responds. I think I'm going to buy a...
Olga stated, "Nothing can spoil my mood." La! You see? It was another amazing scene-stealing performance for Olga. The film, just like the play, was a critical and commercial hit. After appearing in a few more plays and recording some more music, Olga more or less retired by 1948, except for a brief guest appearance in 1951 on the TV series Man Against Crime. By then, she had married her third husband, Richard Davis, in 1937 and spent her time with him. In the 1960s, she became a frequent gambler at the roulette table in Montreux. She also was frequently asked to give interviews about her work in Freaks after it was reevaluated as a classic. Olga lived the remainder of her life in relative peace and quiet, aside from a memory issue that may have been Alzheimer's. She died at age 81 in 1974. Olga left behind a legacy as both a stage and film actress with equal successes in the silence and the talkies. According to Charlie Connelly at the New European, Joseph L. Mankiewicz even paid tribute to her as one of the greatest stars of Hollywood in the 1960s. So, we are left with the question now, why did Olga's stardom not last long in the talkies? While a common rumor was that her Russian accent was too thick for her to remain popular, evidence shows that that was not the case, and by the time she left films in 1933, and don't forget she had been on the stage for years and would be on the stage again, so whatever accent she had did not keep her from being a critical hit on Broadway. The other conclusion I have found in my research is that her rich, over-the-top, vampy-type roles were not as in fashion during the beginnings of the Great Depression. So the public did not particularly warm up to her performances. While I think that this conclusion has some truth to it, I think the real reason that Olga's talkie stardom did not stick was that she did not really want it to, since the studios weren't using her to the best of her abilities. When they let her be the star, they would only let her play man-eaters rather than tap into her considerable range as an actress. When she was more or less regulated to playing such characters, she walked away and returned to the stage where she could really act. Olga Baklanova was not just a brilliant actress, but an intelligent one who stood up for herself and her ability and refused to be pigeonholed in unsympathetic, static characters. Although, as I mentioned often, she played the hell out of them and added a fresh spin to each one, even if they weren't written to be very original. Several folks have listed her as one of the finest actresses of the 20th century, and I wholeheartedly agree. I only wish we were able to see more of her work. But if we only had the Docs of New York or Freaks, I think we have enough. Thank you, Olga Baklanova, for your fearless portrayals of unsympathetic yet wholly realistic characters. Your courage and depth as an actress were simply astonishing, and we are so lucky to be able to see a portion of your incredible work. Next week, join me as I investigate the silent but talky career of Nils Astor. Thank you so much for joining me again. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend.